1984, and as per the normal activities of our institution, 5 major activities, that's education and training, research and development, instructional material development, extension and consultancy services, and like. I am contributing to these 5 activities of our institution, and today I will be talking to you on methods which you can incorporate in your day-to-day teaching along with your lecture method. But before I move into that, let me make it clear, my session will be more of interactive session, and I won't go into the technical jargon of the definitions and all that. Of course, something necessarily might be touched in the lecture. Um, I would like to know from you, in your university also, you must be having campus interviews, campus placements. Good morning. So in those campus placements, what type of skills are expected from your students? What they expect from your students?
Can you give us 5 minutes?
Sure. You 5 minutes or more, I think. You want to discuss among yourselves?
No, ma'am. Actually, when you started, our mic was off, so we were not able to hear you from the start.
Okay. Let me. From where to begin?
From the beginning.
From the beginning. Okay. Myself, Dr. S.P. Bedi, Swam Prabha Bedi. I am professor in educational management department. I joined the institution long back in 1984. Right from that time, I am contributing to the 5 major activities of the institution: education and training, research and development, instructional material development, extension services, and curriculum development. In this session for today, I will be discussing some of the methods which you can incorporate in your day-to-day teaching. If not in a big way, I think you can start something. Of course, by the end of the lecture, we will further know what exactly can be incorporated in your teaching methods. But before I go to the methods, let me just know from you. In your institution too, like in other institutions, there must be some campus placement activity. Am I right in assuming it or not? Am I right in assuming that in your university also, like in other technical institutions, there are placements, campus placements are done?
Yes, we have regular campus placements.
Very good.
We have a dedicated corporate resource center who manages all these things.
Very good. So, what type of when the personnel from various districts visit you, what type of expectations they have from your institution?
When industry visits our campus, they have pre-requested information about us that the students we going to provide them for the placement drive. They are skilled students as per the industry requirement, latest technology. Their communication skills are as per.
So first you said they look for the technical skills. Very right in saying that. Technical skills. But in addition, what they need? Communication skills.
Communication skills.
Yes, what else?
Interpersonal qualities.
Interpersonal skills.
Then there are many qualities which they measure as per their standard. Candidate social factors, adaptability, quest to learn new technology in a short period of time,
Good.
aptitude,
Right.
organizing ability.
Okay. Now, may I know your name?
My name is Professor Gurpreet Singh, Head MC Department.
Professor Gurpreet Singh. Am I right in listening?
Professor Gurpreet Singh, MC Department.
Thank you, Professor Gurpreet Singh. Um, Now, how far you are successful in developing these skills amongst your students through your lecture method?
Ma'am, when the student join the university in the first semester, and for 1 year, that is first and second semester, we provide communication skills training.
Okay.
As part of the curriculum. Daily, he and she has a lecture of communication skills, so his or her communication skills are on for 1 year.
They are taught, but how they develop it? Okay, after completion of that year, when they come to you in the classes, what type of activities show that they are really good in communication?
Ma'am, the communication part, the grooming part and personality development is handled by the well-trained professionals. We have a training and placement division which take care of this thing.
Okay. Thank you for briefing about what is the status of in your institution as regard development of other skills. Now, let me come to the things how incorporate these things in daily living. Of course, my sessions will help them in developing these skills.
Can you direct your technical guy to correct the sound part? Your voice is coming not clear.
Or now it's okay?
Yes, now it's audible.
Okay. Okay. So now, am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am, very clear.
Okay, thank you. Because I was able to hear you. So we will be discussing certain methods. We call these skills, other than these technical skills, that's the communication skills, interpersonal skills, adaptability, and what others you have mentioned, which the professionals are helping your students to develop about these things. Now you see, there are certain methods which not only make the interaction with the students lively, it also helps them in developing such skills. We call these such skills as soft skills, generic skills, and employability skills. Uh, Formal training for these things is okay, but really when the display of such type of thing, exposure of such type of thing comes, the student is with you for a longer time. So you can develop further, you can help them further in developing such skills, which are very important for their jobs. Not only for entering into the job, but staying there also. So let me first of all take the case, we will be discussing case teaching method, brainstorming and collaborative learning. For that I will go to how we conduct these things and what are of course advantages and disadvantages. So first I start with the case teaching method. Now in this method, let me hear from you what we understand by case teaching method. My session will be more of interactive session. I won't be just discuss the one way type of communication method. So let me hear from the participants. Have you ever heard of this case teaching method? Professor Gurpreet, can I request you that somebody else also from the participants give their views in these regards?
Yes, please. You will also do. What is case teaching method?
You please introduce yourself also before speaking.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Manisha Malhotra from MCA department in UIC.
I could not hear your name.
Manisha Malhotra.
Okay. Yes.
Ma'am, basically, case teaching method is we can say when we have some problem, then we have defined the clear problem to the students. Then the students have to design a case study on the basis of a real life or some survey you can say, and then we analyze the problem and some applying some methods, and after that what they conclude after the whole case study of that particular problem.
Good, good. You are right in saying that the problem is there. Only thing is that student doesn't fabricate the case, but the case is designed by the teacher. So
Yes,
case method is just a reconstruction of real life situation.
yes,
Something in the industry or anywhere has taken place. It's a real thing, and that is examined. That the case is written in the form of description that what happened. I will show you certain cases regarding this. Now that is examined maybe individually or by group of students also. So you can adopt any method in for case study. Can be either individual or group. Then using their skills, they establish general principles. Now, there can be two approaches. Either the case situation is given and they, on the basis of the case, formulate principles that are applicable to that situation. It can go other way also. That should teach the principle through the lecture method, and then you give them the case. And they see where those general principles which you have taught in the lecture, they are being applied at those situations. So we call these as inductive and deductive thinking. So when the particulars are rather than one situation where the particulars are given, and inductive thinking this involves discovery by the student. Situation is given, you don't teach the principles, but the student of C analyzes the situation and reaches at the principles. The other way, that is the deductive thinking, general principles are given, that is, they are coming in the reconstruction of the case itself. And they see, students see that what type of principle is applied to that situation. To remember, particular is given, inductive thinking, and come to the general principles, pig is said, so that we can remember this thing. This is the way how the cases are used, and you can have the mix of these two approaches also. That is, in some of the you follow the inductive approach. For some of the situations, you may go for the other way around, that is the deductive. Now, I come to how do we conduct the case method, how we use it, how to conduct it. So, first of all, you are to select an appropriate case that looks like real, right? Now, point is, certain situations, certain aspects are taken from the real happening, and then at times they are, while designing, they are little bit fabricated so as to suit what the principles which you have taught. So this thing can be, you might be having certain cases on the net also, or you have to design yourself also, taking in view the real life problems of the industry. Now, once that the appropriate case is designed or selected, then content of the case, now you see demonstrate principles to be developed. Now let me show you. Now you can distribute this case. It can be in the written form. It can be in the video film form. It can take any time, any time. So let's just see the case of this. Uh, just the usage of this type of cases, they allow application of theoretical concepts. Otherwise, you are teaching theory, and student doesn't know how it is applied in the real life. So if they really see that it is how it is applicable in the real life, student interest becomes more. So this also encourages active learning because now the student has to do it, right? This provides opportunity for development of skills. Now, naturally, I will come to these things again also. Communication. When they talk with each other, their communication skills, for which the special efforts were taken by your personnel, those are further strengthened here also. This increases student enjoyment of the topic and thus creates interest and desire to learn. Let me show you the case. You will read the case carefully and then I will raise certain questions. This is the case of the blind man with a lamp. You just go through the case. You see, once upon a time, a blind man carrying a lantern was walking down the street at night. Someone asked, "You cannot see anything. Why do you take the lamp with you?" The blind man answered, "When I do so, others would be able to see me and not knock me down." Right? So this case is question for this case is in the view of safe production, what can this story tell you? Because in the industry, safety is must. So keeping that in view, what is the lesson from this story? I give you 2 minutes to discuss. You can have 2 minutes to discuss among yourselves, and then we will discuss the case. Okay, time starts.
When I do so, others would be able to see me and not knock me down. Storyteller teaches the light for the student. Check this out. That is okay, view of the safe production, what can the story tell us? Okay. What is safe production? Safe production okay, go ahead and explain. You should take a look into whatever idea you have set. That's no perception also. We have safe production, what the story can tell us.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. You have solved the case. Let's now discuss. Very good.
My name is Rahul Malhotra. I'm from UIC MCA. Exactly, I have not got the answer of this problem, but I have some perception in my mind. Like if we are designing some product, right, and in that product we need to give some safety features, which is exactly not required or which is not in the similar to the product, but that would not do any harm if the user is using that product. Then the product would not get harmed. That's why we are adding that safety feature in that particular product. So this is what exactly I am thinking this story is resembling if we are producing some kind of product.
Okay. You want to say that the product you have created and there you have written these things should not be done. You want to say this thing? If I am right in interpreting you.
Right, ma'am. Sort of these things.
Sort of this thing. Okay. Anybody else who will like to? Or this is the view of the whole group?
One more submission, ma'am. If we are careful and we abide by any rules and regulations and other laws also say.
Your voice is not clear, please, sir. Mic ले ले आप please sir.
Okay, ma'am. What I perceive from this is that we have to be ourselves be safe first, and it will help others also.
Okay, good, good, very good. So, so let's just see. It was well attempted. So, actually, philosophy of safety tells that take measures to avoid being hurt. There are three principles of do not be harmed, right? And one among them is that you take some measures for yourself so that you are not hurt. So it is a type of becoming proactive in that situation. So what the blind man did is worth following. Only mutual supervision and reminding yourself for becoming safe, that's the right thing which can be done. I am giving you another case. And now I give you more time to think. You may take 3-4 minutes. So one day, blowout happened while drilling high pressure gas reservoir. Drilling mud were pumped to the mixing tank for weighing by a small cycles pipeline. While a mud technician of the drilling team who had just graduated from college went across the mud line to the tank to pick up the mud samples. And that you see what happened to him. He was knocked to the ground and died instantly by raising pipeline because the pipeline was not fixed firmly and pipeline pumping pressure released and so the accident took place. So this is a real case by Kwangli Young and the others in 2006. They made this case, and this real thing happened in one of the industries. Now the question is, analyze this case, discuss the cause of the accident with the idea of the trajectories cost theory of accident causation, and propose accident prevention measures also. I go to the case and I will, when you say, I will again show you the question. I am going to the case again. You just read it carefully and then I will again show you the question. We are having again 3 minutes to discuss.
And one should be trained. You should have the skilled to handle properly skilled and should be properly trained for design. And one thing more you can make out is that is written over there that he was a young graduate. So he should have taken advice of the next senior to him before going to taking charge of himself. And he should have followed the standard operating procedures which are already been laid down in the industry when you are into such high end of industrial process. Okay. Can you discuss, ma'am?
I show you the question also.
Okay,
What was the cause of the, you have to discuss two things. Cause of the accident, keeping in view the, of course I know that you don't have the trajectories cost theory of accident causation with you. Because I'm just giving you the view of how these cases help in learning the things. So I'm not going into the teaching of trajectories cost theory of accident causation.
yes.
Yes, but you have to discuss the, you may keep in view only discuss the cause of the accident, but keep that the causation theory, causation aspects in view. And you have to also propose accident prevention measures also.
The cause of accident can be categorized as follow. The the concerned person was a young graduate. He should have taken advice of his next senior who, for taking charge into his hands. He should have followed the standard operating procedure which are already told to a young trainee when he joins that. So he should have gone by the standard operating procedure before taking the charge into his hands. And the other part is that the skilled training. You should be skilled enough to appreciate the situation that of such kind you have to take preventive measures before when you are working into a place which is of high where the high processes are involved. So in one short you can say that he should have followed the standard operating procedure, the SOPs, the guidelines which are already issued. This would have
very good, Professor Gurpreet, and your team. I congratulate you for discussing so actively and in such a brief time. You must see, I just show this analysis of this case. You see, this case is based on a real personal injury. Students are required to present their understanding of the trajectories cause theory of accident causation. Of course, I won't go into that because that was not taught. You see here, risk factors from human behaviors, unsafe behavior across high pressure loop pipeline. You have rightly said that he should have followed certain standard procedures and he should have thought of that what type of accidents can happen if he goes near to those places where he was collecting the samples. Factors regarding movement tracks and objects. For example, pressure circulation pipeline was not fixed. So when going into such type of risk areas where the accident can take place, the person should be proactive in seeing that if any type of this, when the pipeline is not attached properly, such type of thing may happen. So he had to take care of such things. How intersection of movement tracks. Now the tracks should be such that there should be some lining, some marks on that tracks, so that any person, even if the things are self-explanatory. Now you see, there are certain differences in which the points which I have shown and which your group has discussed. Now here comes the role of the challenging role of the teacher, because there may not be the fixed answers the way they are written in the books. So the teacher has to take care that if that things deviate, he has to take care that okay, from theory these things emerge and how the students have interpreted them. Point is, teacher has to be open-minded, flexible in responding, in analyzing the responses which are coming from this book. Though you have had a very little discussion, but let me just know from you how you find your discussions. How you found your discussion? When discussion was going on, did you enjoy that discussion or it was just okay?
No, we enjoyed a lot. And we enjoyed a lot.
Your feelings during the discussion. Okay, let me make it more precise in your analysis. How are you feeling? Yes? Was it boring? Was it boring to discuss?
No, ma'am.
We all were participating in nature and everybody contributed the one and more than one point. Then the all points together and one statement was issued.
Very good. So, in a case study method, so once the case is given, then students are given the case wherein they can respond individually or as group. and review and clarify ideas. So you see, we have given you a like situation. Now when your students are studying and it is from your area, that creates interest and motivates the students. Not only that, students see the relevance for the future jobs also. Why this trajectory theory is taught to me? The big question comes. One is you cram it, the other is you really see that it is applicable somewhere also. And not only that, it helps in developing certain skills. आप में से एक leader बन गया होगा. Am I right in? No, I was not watching you, but I understand one among you must be the leader. Was it like that? जिसने discuss करवाया. Come out, came out with it. Points लिए आपने अभी कहा मैडम सभी ने contribute किया था. So it was not just a passive listening of the lecture, right? You were actively involved in that. So these type of things help in better understanding and developing your other capabilities, which the employers are seeing among the students. You may say communication skills are further strengthened. Maybe when you were discussing, there might be some difference of opinion among the people also. So how you interact with others, this is a platform where you are developing your students' interpersonal skills also. So you organize the things and then of course there are this disadvantages also. All the time you will not have the cases which are given on the website. You might have to wait yourself also, keeping in you certain problems, and that takes a lot of time. The whole case study operation requires considerable time, and I said that when there are no fixed answers for this, so the teacher has a challenge. Their students may come up with real creative type of solutions for that, and the teacher is ready for it. Needs some time on the part of the teacher also. Uh, it is more time consuming, but you don't think it as a point for that it is taking time. You see the outcomes, the benefits out of it. Benefits you are developing not only the content area, you are making your things more interesting, and making your things more interesting, more relevant, motivate students to learn themselves certain things also. You develop certain skills which they are communication skills. Giving practice by a professional is a different thing, but the communication skills which are related to your content and then presenting those things, that is, I would say, the real development of the communication skills in that sense. So I won't say that these are really the disadvantages, because the gains are quite high. So this is all about the case method. Now I move to the second method. That's the brainstorming method. Have you ever heard this word, brainstorming? Before I move, let me hear from you. What you understand by brainstorming? Postmortem कर दें. Yes.
Brainstorming, one can say that to a particular problem that can be a mathematical problem or a real world situation where you have to solve it or plan a solution, and you have to apply your mind, and from best of the solution you have to find out which is more feasible and acceptable.
Okay.
It's a group activity also.
Excuse me?
It can be a group activity also.
Sorry, could not get you?
It can be a group activity also.
It can be. It can be. You are very right. आप इसको ब्रेन एंड स्टॉर्म, तो दिमाग में तूफान ले आओ to solve a problem. Now this problem may not be mathematical. जिंदगी में कई प्रॉब्लम्स आती हैं. It can be applied anywhere. It may be industry problem, it may be personal problem. Brainstorming can be applied anywhere. So let's see just. This was developed by Alex Osborne. He was principal of New York advertising agency Betten. He coined this term, which means using the brain to creatively storm the problem. तूफान ले आओ problem का अपने solutions के लिए, right? So it is based on the premise that when people interact in an unrestrained setting, they will generate creative ideas. हम लोग creative क्यों नहीं होते हैं? Let me just have a line. What do you mean by creativity? What you mean? आपने ये word तो बहुत सुना होगा. That person is. I would say that creative. Yes, but we understand that. If we hear from person, कोई नया बंदा. Okay.
Good morning, ma'am. Myself, Pradeep Kaur. According to me, brainstorming it is a psychological test technique. So actually, we all are creative, but the thing is psychological factor it affects that makes us the creative part of us. It shapes the creative part by that psychological test.
बात है सिर्फ creativity है क्या? What we mean by creativity?
Creativity it is actually when we are doing something which is extraordinary part of us, which we cannot express in front of all others. It can be it can be creative only due to the brainstorming part, which may be due to the psychological factors. The psychological
it's within us only, and that's all. We can't share with other our creativity.
Ma'am,
to understand your point, am I right in interpreting?
Sorry, ma'am.
You said that it's within us, and the thing which we can't share with others. Am I right in saying this?
Ma'am, yes, because every person it is creative in itself. But the thing is, some people they are able to express their things and some are not. So it depends on the it is the factor which is counted, that is gifted children and ungifted children. Normal children, so we can say, normal people we can say. So according to me, creativity depends on the psychological factors.
Okay. It's within us, but it has to be expressed also, because otherwise nobody will know that we are creative. Thank you, Pradeep, for giving your views. Creativity means to develop something new, which is it may be in the form of product, maybe in the form of process, maybe in the form of doing a particular thing. It can be anywhere, and it's not only the privilege of gifted people. Even with the average intelligence can be created, right? So it's psychological, but you can't say that it remains within us. We have to express those things also. The person who is creatively improves his quality of life. Now, brainstorming is one way to develop creativity among people. Creativity is not a thing which cannot be developed among people. Now, you see here, interact in an unrestrained setting. Generally, what happens when we have fears, that's called emotional block in our creativity. We have in our mind fears that if I give this idea, maybe I know my idea is creative, but that is out of the rut, I would say. And I have a fear in my mind that if I give this idea, people will laugh at me. तो मैंने आपने कहा ना ये ऐसे impractical से ideas देते हैं, right? Actually, creativity is born from this. That's why it's based on this premise only. This method is that when you are having no bindings, as you give those ideas which are real creative. So we create in this method. You will see we create those situations where this is unrestrained situation. So let's see how does it happen. But there are not all situations where you can use this method. First is problem has a unique solution. I heard that it can be applied to mathematical problems. It can be applied to any method. The point is, it should not have a unique solution. Say, I say under root of million, under root of 100. There is no creativity involved in it. There is a fixed solution and that's all. Right? Or topic is this, and the topic is cannot go for brainstorming. So if I say how to get ahead in life, right? Now, how to get ahead in life means there can be a number of things where you want to see that the person is ahead. So it's so broad and topic. It's so vague that the person will not. One person, if you are having a say group activity for having solutions to this type of thing, somebody will go on one thing and the other person will go towards other aspect of it. So to make them broadly focused, not highly focused, I'm saying, if I put the same problem into how to get promoted in a particular organization, now you have the target with you that okay, target is to get promoted. Now you can have a brainstorming. So when you are giving the problem to your students, you must see that there should not be a unique solution. There should be possibility of number of solutions for that, and you will see that in the industry problem and even in certain subjects also there are various situations where there are no fixed solutions. So wherever there are no fixed solutions, we can go for brainstorming. And the other is when the topic is vague, so be clear that when you give, I would say that even in one semester, if you go for 1-2 brainstorming sessions, at least you give them the students a type of idea that they should go for brainstorming, because for the brainstorming it's not necessary at all that you go for the group only. It can be individual. But once you develop this type of way of doing the things, way of solving the problems among students, then when they are sitting alone and they have some problem related to industry or maybe to their personal, they will start brainstorming individually also. So there are certain characteristics of brainstorming technique. First is here sole concern is idea generation and not idea evaluation. You see, moment you want to share your view with others and this thought comes to your mind that my idea will not be worth, you won't share that. That's why idea is to generate the idea and not evaluate it. But it is at the initial stage. Then later on it will be evaluated also. But at the time of generation of the idea, it's not evaluated. Then group of 10 to 12 members, they are presented with a problem. There can be 10 to 12 students which can sit and solve this. Group is asked to identify as many solutions as possible. There is no restriction कि 10 के बाद बंद हो जाना है, 20 के बाद बंद हो जाना है. जितना time है, they can go on giving ideas. Group members may or may not be from the same discipline. जरूरी नहीं है कि सारे कंप्यूटर साइंस के लिए हो. आप चाहे प्रॉब्लम कंप्यूटर साइंस की है, you may have certain other persons from civil, mechanical, like that. And when industries in real show, when they go for brainstorming technique, they say the problem is in the production line. They will call some people from the accounts, some people from the inventory, and like that. So it's good that if there is a mix of the groups also, mix of people also. There is a reason for that, because the production person will always look to the solution of to that problem in a production type of settings. If the problem is related to computer science person will look at the problem, interpret the things in a computer science logics only. But if the other persons are also sitting, they don't have that knowledge. So based on their own experience, they will interpret it in a different way. And what is creativity? To come in a different way. That's how people from the different, but if even if you are keeping it for your own computer science group also, even that will go, but it is not a binding on for a brainstorming session. The sessions generally last for 30 minutes to an hour. It's necessary. There is a reason, because the real good ideas, they come at the end. You can, if you don't have time, you may go for 30 to 40 minutes also. Most ideas generated may be impractical. आप देखेंगे काफी ideas impractical आएंगे, because students at times become funny. They want to give funny ideas because there is no constraint on the things. But few will merit serious consideration. We will have a small brainstorming session right here, and you will see how the depthest, जो लगते हैं ना बिल्कुल impractical, बहुत funny, those ideas are taken for further analysis. So let's. I am having a small brainstorming session. Of course, I can't have for 30 to 40 minutes, but just a glimpse of that. So first of all, when you start your brainstorming session, you have to brief about the stages. Okay. First of all, we will do this thing, then this thing, and this thing. And for that matter, you will announce to the students that participation from every student is compulsory. Then the rules are announced. So let's just listen, because I am going to have brainstorming session with you. So you listen the rules carefully. Okay. First rule is criticism is prohibited. कोई भी किसी का criticism नहीं करेगा. It may be highly impractical, highly funny idea, doesn't matter, but nobody is going to criticize anybody, any other's idea. Then free willing is welcome. जो दिल में आता है बोलिएगा. No constraints at all. आपको impractical लगे, funny लगे, आप मजाक बनाना चाहते हैं situation का, doesn't matter. Everything is welcomed in this brainstorming session. Then quantity is wanting. जितने ideas ज़्यादा देंगे उतने हम खुश होंगे. Defer evaluation while producing ideas. Neither you are to evaluate ideas of other individuals nor your own. कि idea देने से पहले आप सोचो ओहो, that is not possible. No thinking, जो आता है दिल में बोल दे. No. ना आप दूसरे के आइडिया को इवैल्यूएट करेंगे ना अपने को, बस जस्ट जो दिमाग में आया बोल दो बस. फैंटास्टिक द आइडियाज बेटर. जितना फनी, जितना इम्प्रैक्टिकल आइडियाज, इट्स गुड, राइट. Hitchhike on previously expressed ideas. Of course, you can hitchhike your own previously expressed ideas. जैसे कि आपकी दोबारा टर्न आती है, maybe I may not be able to give you second turn, but I will like that at least one turn will come to everybody. So अगर आपने से कुछ बोला and when the again turn come to you, you can further build up that idea. There is no restriction कि उसके related idea आप बोल चुके हैं. Another thing, you can hitchhike on the ideas of other persons also. So जो भी आपको लगता है कि किसी और के आइडिया की एक्सपेंशन कर सकते हैं, point is it's a totally free type of unrestrained type of setting where you can speak of anything for that matter, for that problem. So rules are you clear of for the rules? Can I start running the brainstorming session?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We start with the session. So the first stage was that I have introduced you. I have given you the rules, and now I come to the icebreaker. Icebreaker is a warm-up session. Warm-up means कि पहले मैं real problem पे हूँ, मैं थोड़ी सी वैसे ही कोई problem लेके आपको situation देती हूँ, so that you are away from your other thinkings and you are warm up for taking up the real problem which we are going to do. So in this, okay, I am having pen, so I just give you half minute. I am cutting down the time for the things so that I just can demonstrate this method. So I am having a pen. What can be the other uses of pen? I just give you half minute to think, and then you have to respond to this. Just half minute to think.
What can we do with the pen?
With this pen, as you can see.
Yes.
Okay.
What you can do with the pen? will change the destiny of the world by your views.
Apart from writing, the using of pen.
Other gentlemen can use for Hindu gentlemen can use for doing this thing.
Lady can use it to find the pens.
Yeah, and notorious guy can put it on the ear. He's not interested in lecture. So you can do many things with your pen. Depends on the perception what you have.
Okay, let us start. बोलिए आपने क्या सोचे हैं पेन के uses? Fast. You can speak out the take ideas from others and speak out those also, please.
Okay, ma'am, try for children. Then
Writing material for a
writing material.
Writing.
For writing material, something for written.
a tool for Khalsa to correct his pattern.
A tool for a Khalsa person.
Tool for a
Khalsa person to correct is a touching person basically.
right.
For a lady, for a lady, use as a one stick.
And even the youngsters can use it for the entertainment pursuit. They can play truth and dare with this.
Yes. For playing truth and dare game.
playing.
Truth and dare game.
Very well done. Good. So we are ready for the
A notorious student who is not interested in lecture and put the pen in front of other ear and disturb him.
Sorry sir, I could not get you.
सर आपकी आवाज कट रही है.
Ma'am, a student can use the pen, put the pen on his or her ear if he or she is not interested in some lecture.
Some notorious students are there.
Okay, good. Thanks for sharing interesting news.
Okay, it can be used as it can be used as a pointer when doing the map reading exercise.
Okay.
Pointing device.
Good. So you see, when we started the situations which you are giving, they were basically for taking it as a normal way for writing purposes, data writing and all that. But later on, we moved to the other things really, maybe pointing, like playing like other things. So now we are ready for taking the problem. So we define the problem. You have to define the problem at this stage. Ours being a, हम teaching method लेके चल रहे हैं. So let's take the problem related to that. You see, this is a problem with many teachers. Problem of gaining and retaining attention in the class. Right? So we will move and one among you will come to the at the speaker side, take the ideas from everybody and just speak it out. So our time starts. Please start giving the ideas one by one. Let me again request Pradeep Kaur.
प्रदीप.
हाँ जी प्रदीप, आप you will handle the situation, right? Ask everybody to give the idea and then you speak it out. And इकट्ठे नहीं बोलना किसी ने भी. We have now started with the things. Problem is in front of you, right?
In order to gain and retaining the attention in classroom, first of all, being a teacher, I will prepare a micro lesson which may be related to the topic I am going to discuss. And beyond preparing the micro lesson, I will also having some visual aids so that I will retain the attention of the students in the class. It is demonstration and visualization at the same time. So I will not continue my lecture continuously. I will give some break. I will shake them up by giving some funny moments also. and at the same time I will continue my teaching process by teacher-pupil interaction also.
Okay. And I have the views from others also. Everybody has to contribute. This is compulsory thing.
Thank you.
Okay. Next.
Ma'am, by showing some interesting videos on that particular topic that is related to real life.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
Ma'am, the main concern is when we are teaching some topic to the students, then we are just delivering the theoretical concepts to the students. So we should have the knowledge surroundings about that, like how the Facebook was developed, what is the need of the Facebook, and how it is working right now. Like I am handling a PHP project, so I've told them in the first lecture that this is the application of this particular thing which you are doing, so that they can they will have some interest in this subject and they will continue studying with a lot of interest.
Okay. Next.
Ma'am, according to me, that first thing is that we need to be loud enough that the students can hear us properly. Second thing is we need to maintain eye contact with each and every student so that the student is not distracted by other things that are happening in the class.
Yes. Next.
Okay, one thing we can do, only we have to excite the student. Why should they go for this topic? Why should they learn this topic? Relevance to them, to the subject, and relevance to them also. The first part is you have to excite the student. Why should they learn this particular topic or subject?
Okay. Next.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We are not having next. Sorry. Yes.
Ma'am, another option that we could do is that we first make them connect with the previous knowledge, and the only they are able to connect with the previous knowledge that they would be having the inclination to pursue new knowledge. So, given them some keywords or after sharing some new knowledge, we can make them think so that they engage their mind.
Okay. Next. Everybody has to contribute.
By giving them practical questions to solve, and by providing them the participation of each and every student must in the classroom.
Okay. Next.
In my case, I threw some questions in the class that will depict the elements of a subject with the real-time examples. If there is a new topic, then first of all, I have to give the real-time example so that
अरे सर आपकी आवाज थोड़ी क्लियर नहीं आ रही है माइक सामने रखें एक पोजीशन पे नहीं आ रहा माइक perhaps.
In my case, if the topic is relevant to the previous one, in that case, I throw some questions to the classroom so that they can have an interaction with the real-time examples. Right, if the topic is wide, in that case, I'll give you some examples that is based on which we have to be introduce a new subject, a new topic in the classes. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
While delivering the lecture, teacher can wander in the class so the class benches can retain their attention during the lecture.
Student follow when entering into the class, what the teacher should do? Sorry.
Sorry.
Just repeat it again.
While delivering the lecture, a teacher can wander in the class to the last bench so the backbenchers can listen to give their attention.
Okay, thank you for moving in the classroom. Thank you. Okay, we likewise we go for everybody, and then second round, third round, because it has to go for 30 minutes. Maybe I am stopping here, and we see that nothing new has come, right? Earlier I had these type of sessions. I just share with you some of the things which came out. Somebody said that teacher will cut jokes in the class, right? Away, which you normally don't do, right? अगर मैं लर्निंग प्रिंसिपल पढ़ाने जाऊँ, आई वुड से द सेम थिंग व्हिच यू हैव सेड। बेबी इफ द टाइम गोज, आप जस्ट ये सोचिए कि ये जब स्टॉक खत्म हो जाएगा जो आपका पुराना स्टॉक है, then you will start and the time is not yet over and you have to give ideas more and more. You will come out with certain more ideas which are not in this list, because you can expand the idea but you can't repeat it, right? और कोई restraint नहीं है इसको. So somebody said that okay, teacher will dance in the class. Can teacher dance in the class? So ये जो सारे points हैं, these points are focus on the problem. These points are written by somebody. जब आप brainstorming session करवा रहे हैं, मैंने तो सुन लिए हैं. One, you will means tell some student that he has to write on the board or flip chart whatsoever is there. Then select one focus statement. Out of that, maybe थोड़ा जो students हैं वो ज़्यादा शरारती भी होते हैं, और हो सकता है मैं शरारती टीचर के पास अब बारी नहीं आने दी. It might have happened like that. So you have to select the idea either yourself or ask students to select 4-5 ideas. जैसे मैंने कहा ना, किसी ने कहा टीचर क्लास में गाएगा, किसी ने कहा टीचर क्लास में डांस करेगा, किसी ने कहा टीचर क्लास में जोक सुनाएगा, and all that which looks to be impractical, right? अभी आप में से किसी एक ने कहा था थोड़ा सा वो फेसबुक और उसका भी लेकर चले. Okay, when we see such type of situations, it is a Facebook का काम like that. If I am not clear about the, I am not noted the exact words, but something about the social media was said about them. You can use that also. Ask them, okay, that you look at the social media पे क्या चीज आई हुई है ऐसे नहीं आपके टॉपिक के रिलेटेड. Then you make a assignment for that also. Okay, if say I take teacher will dance in the earlier, but this is the time, and generally I have seen now also there are some teachers जो अपनी एक ही जगह पे खड़े होते हैं, वहीं पे डाय से हटते भी नहीं है, and they give the full lecture of an hour or so. So dance doesn't mean that they exactly dance, but it is when it is evaluated, it is that you bring some movement, some activity, some, जैसे किसी ने कहा ना, move to the last bench also. So अपनी movement रखो. It's not just dancing. It's gestures, appropriate gestures होने चाहिए. So with this also you can. किसी ने कहा joke. मैं देखे आजकल कंप्यूटर्स के सब चीजों पे कई जोक्स आ जाते हैं, तो कहीं जो फिट होता है तो you can even ask them also, incorporate them also. So you select 4-5 ideas which looks to be impractical. Either you ask students to select or you can do it by yourself, and again have that session, brainstorming session. इसमें है कि मान लो डांस है तो डांस करना या जोक सुनाना, right? How to make them practical, वो brainstorming उसमें दोबारा है. After that silly suggestions सब फिर लिए जाएंगे, and then finally you will go for the evaluation. अब evaluation का basis क्या है? Here comes all this was idea generation. जब तक idea generation हुई, we have not evaluated, so that all types of impractical, funny things come out from the group. Now there may be certain things where you need money, right? You have to formulate certain criteria so that those ideas fit into those criteria. It may be criteria can be related to cost, it can be resources, it can be constraints, time, and so on. So say I say that okay, how you will incorporate brainstorming in your day-to-day teaching. So point is you can think of certain things, and on the basis of the set criteria for evaluation, you evaluate and then convert it into the real solutions. So this is how brainstorming goes on. Now I will share with you some findings about brainstorming. You see that better ideas are produced in the second half. अब जैसे मेरा second half में ही मैंने actually brainstorming खत्म कर दी. You think that's just that if I go on taking ideas from you for half an hour, आपका ये जो daily stock है वो खत्म हो जाएगा, right? Then you will come to the real things which may not be practical. So there comes the creative solutions. So best ideas जो है वो बाद में आते हैं. Group that are exhorted to brainstorm and go after quantity rather than quality end up producing larger number of ideas. अगर आप हर वक्त ये सोचते रहोगे ना प्रैक्टिकल कैसे है when giving ideas फिर आप ideas नहीं दे सकते. So that's why there is no binding on this and you come up with more number of ideas. There are certain advantages of brainstorming. This encourages creativity. We took that thing. As you see that in most of the institutions, most of the industries, they see कहीं ना तो ad में ही लिखा होता है need creative person like that. So this develops this type of ability among students. This is a refreshing change of method क्योंकि student को कोई काम का कोई lecture का pressure नहीं है इसको और उसको thinking पे भी he can think beyond anything. So it's a refreshing change of method. Sense of participation because it's compulsory that everybody will participate. Increases self confidence and resourcefulness. जब वो कोई आइडिया अपने तरफ से नई सी सिचुएशन का जहाँ जिसका कोई डायरेक्ट सिचुएशन का solution ही दिखाई देता है and he gives the idea for that, he becomes more confident that okay I can think beyond all these things also. I am resourceful also. So this type of give him a good type of feeling about himself. Of course, there are certain disadvantages. Again, I won't call them disadvantages. One is not a very systematic way of studying the subject. आप हर चीज इससे नहीं पढ़ा सकते. Systematic way नहीं है. The way you derive your theorems or tell the students the steps for writing a software like that, it doesn't go in that systematic. Too many draft suggestions are generated. Or if the draft suggestions are too much and you have to make them practical, evaluate them on certain criteria. At times, teacher is not, again a challenge for the teacher. Teacher is not able to handle so many of the tasks. And with the young group exposed to such an environment, they may give you number of tough situations for the given. Some students are reluctant to participate, and this is another challenge I would say for the teacher to motivate our students to participate. So this was all about the brainstorming session, and now I move to the last method, collaborative learning. Before I start with this method, let me hear from you. Most of you must have done BE like that. You might have lived in hostels also, right? Am I right in saying this thing? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you are having your examination, final exam pass होता था, I have heard at least. I don't know about you, and I will like to know what does that thing happen with you also. एग्जाम के पास में क्या करते थे कई बच्चे हॉस्टल चले जाते हैं और they distribute the things. Okay, you will learn cram this part of the subject, this portion to the other. Then they meet again and make the other person, other friend learn the things. And so am I right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right?
It's a standard practice.
Huh?
It is a standard practice.
Standard practice. Now, this collaborative learning is bringing the same concept in the classroom. How you can do it? Because you see that you learn more comfortably amongst your peers. तो ये भी एक social learning का aspect ही है. This is based on the idea that learning is a social. Is active learning because it takes place in student teams. Students आपस में पढ़ते हैं बजाय कि teachers everything teachers goes on speaking. It doesn't go like that. Learning engagement among students either face to face or online. दोनों तरीके हो सकते हैं. Even nowadays online is becoming very popular, so it's not necessary that it should be face to face. Involves group of learners working together to solve a problem, complete a task, or create a problem. It can be anything, any topic, anything can be given to the student for this type of thing. Let us see. Okay. this centers on the students' discovery, study and use of information in a collaborative manner. Students are generally given, they analyze the situation. It may require interpretation, evaluation, comparison, synthesis, whatsoever you have, I think, learned in our, when we were dealing with the instructional objective. Point is, it can relate to any of the instructional objectives in the cognitive domain. जो आपने बात की थी कि it can be remembering, understanding, like analysis, synthesis, application, like that. Here it is higher student teacher ratio increases feedback. एकदम पता चलता है कि हाँ पे कितना, टीचर को एकदम पता चल जाता है कि कितना स्टूडेंट्स ने लर्न कर लिया है. Then info मैंने shortly लिख दिया, links new information to prior knowledge, because when the students are learning of their own, they always relate to their previous knowledge. Utilizes resources better, time की best utilization. You will see how it goes. Teacher is not the only person of the giver of the knowledge, right? Teacher is mentor, helping students to do the things. He is co-learner. को भी नहीं पता चलता, आप देखेंगे, you can go and use this method, and I would say this method is most easier to use, क्योंकि यहाँ पे ना केस ढूंढना है, ना ही कोई brainstorming के लिए ऐसी challenging problem ढूंढनी है where really you want to have brainstorming session. It's a joint ownership, more risk taking, facilitates problem solving. So teacher's role क्या है इसमें? Teacher acts as more as an organizer of the event, facilitator, mediator than as a transmitter of knowledge. He is more of timekeeper. He is resolves the problem if arise. क्योंकि जब बच्चे काम इकट्ठे करते हैं कई बार झगड़े वगड़े भी हो जाते हैं, so they need resolve, or they are not able to means have consensus on certain issue. तो वहाँ पे टीचर का रोल बढ़ जाता है. Help in answering questions if presenter is not able to solve. तो जब presenter नहीं कर सकता, teacher is there to do the thing. There are number of ways where you can have collaborative learning. I'm just discussing one, two here. Otherwise, there are think, pair, share, jigsaw method, numbered heads together, group investigations. There are so many others methods which you can, instructional examples are there where collaborative learning can be done. So I give you one question. Question is, I just dealt with the brainstorming method. Now my question is, how will you incorporate this method in your teaching? I give you 1 minute to think, and nobody will discuss. Remember my instruction. Nobody will discuss with anybody. Just think yourself, no discussions at all. मैं सबको देख रही हूँ, so कोई आपस में discussion नहीं करेगा, आपने आप सोचना है.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, of course. I have just interacted with you on brainstorming method of teaching, right? How effectively you can incorporate this method in your teaching. Just think yourself for a minute. No discussion, please. अपने आप सोचना है. Okay. Another step, second step has come. Discuss with the person sitting next to you. Now this discussion is allowed. आपके जो साथ वाले बैठे हैं, पेयर बना लो अपने. पेयर में डिस्कस करिएगा for a minute. नहीं, ऐसे एक जंपिंग नहीं करनी है. नेक्स्ट पर्सन. नेक्स्ट पर्सन के साथ आप डिस्कस करो. अगेन 1 minute is given to you.
That is also brainstorming. How to make them understand. That is the real task. Now, how we will involve.
नहीं, मुझे आवाजें आ रही हैं, सिर्फ पेयर में डिस्कस कर रहे हैं.
Then Rahul Malhotra sir.
वो राहुल सेकंड. ओके, इट्स डन. राहुल, आप आके डिस्कस करो व्हाट यू हैव डिस्कस.
Ma'am, for example, we are going to teach a class database regarding database. So what I will do after going into the class, I will ask them, you have 1 minute and tell me what are your views about database. What is database exactly? So I will let the I will let the answers come to me and what they think about database and what are their opinions about that. Once I will get the details from the students, then I will discuss something about database in the detail. What topic exactly I was going to tell them in that particular lecture. And after delivering the lecture, in last 20 or 15 minutes, I will once again go to the students, to each student. I will give them 5 minutes or 6 minutes. That I will ask them what exactly you have learned right now. Earlier, this was your perception about database, and now I have delivered you this thing. What exactly you have gained in this lecture? Then I can come to know that how they have learned about the database and what exactly they learned about the database. If what I was about.
Okay, thank you, Rahul. Database का there is a fixed answer, I think. Database क्या होता है?
No,
So,
brainstorming
brainstorming में वो टॉपिक लेना है जिसका फिक्स्ड सॉल्यूशन नहीं है, right? But I must appreciate the actors. My job is done. Now you see what I wanted to convey. This type of method. This type of method is called think, pair, share. You see, what instructor poses a question, preferably one demanding any type of situation, right? Give the time to think. मैंने क्या किया? Brainstorming का question पूछा आपसे. I gave you 1 minute to think. No discussion with others. Then I asked you, turn to the partner and again discuss. Then student response. Now I ask you to discuss with me. There can be that you go on enlarging this group. पहले अकेला सोचा, 2 ने सोचा, फिर 4 सोचे, फिर 12 का या क्लास का पूरा ग्रुप बन जाए. Or you can stop here. Anyway you can adopt. आप 4 के ग्रुप के बाद ही से उसकी प्रेजेंटेशन लेंगे. So it looks like this. First think, right? Then you made a pair and then you made a bigger group to think. So this is how this think, pair, share goes. And you see, individual thinking, it means you develop the student to think of a solution to the problems. It may be even here there is no need that there is not a fixed solution. The conditions like brainstorming session doesn't exist. It can be just a simple factual content also. which you can ask the student to think. You have taught a certain, say, principle, say Bernoulli's theorem or anything, and you tell the student that you think of some situation in the environment where it is applicable. So it can be a factual type, it can be any type of thing. Then you ask two to pair, then the bigger group, and then the sharing with the whole. Then there is jigsaw teams. This is another way. Here, again, I come to you. You think of any problem. It may be the one which you said, database. Okay. आप database के पूरे chapter को 2-3 independent units में बांट लें. Say one is say concept. दूसरा हो सकता है characteristics. Am I right in saying? You take any chapter which you can make parts into 4 or 5 independent parts of that, जो एक दूसरे के dependent नहीं होने चाहिए. And then you make teams. The teacher divides an assignment or topic into 4-5 parts, जितने आपके groups बन रहे हैं. Then make the teams. 4 या 5 टीम्स बन गई. हर टीम को जो 4 या 5 आपने पार्ट्स बनाए थे, हर टीम को एक पार्ट आप दे दो कि आपने ये तैयार करना है, राइट? अब हर टीम में से एक पर्सन को उठा लो, ले लो. 5 टीम्स बन गई, 5 टीम्स में से एक टीम को ले लिया. उनको अभी पार्ट्स नहीं देने हैं, उनको आपने एक मेंबर हर एक टीम का ले लेना है. अब जो आपने एक मेंबर लिया है, उन सब की एक टीम अलग बन गई, दैट इज कॉल्ड एक्सपर्ट टीम्स. एक्सपर्ट टीम्स को आपने वो 5 पार्ट्स बांट देने हैं. हर एक टीम जो एक्सपर्ट टीम है, जैसे मान लो एक डेटाबेस कंसेप्ट की को एंड रट्टा अंडरस्टैंडिंग, जो आप क्लास में एग्जाम में प्रिपरेशन से पहले बांटते थे ना चैप्टर्स का पोर्शन, सेम चीज आपने क्लास में करवा दी. और एक्सपर्ट टीम्स को कहा डू एनीथिंग, चाहे कहीं से मटेरियल लो, चाहे मेरे साथ डिस्कस करो. आपने हर उस को इस तरह से लर्न कर लेना है कि अपनी लैंग्वेज में आपने उस चीज को समझ लेना है अच्छी तरह से. 5 पोर्शन सभी एक्सपर्ट टीम्स ने लर्न कर लिए, एंड दे विल आल्सो फाइंड वेज टू मेक अदर पर्सन. कौन सी एग्जांपल्स देंगे जिससे हमारे ग्रुप के सबको समझ आ जाए कि ये कंसेप्ट क्या होता है. It's all their efforts. Of course, it is under the supervision of the teacher. उसके बाद आप क्या करेंगे, इन 5 सभी के जो एक्सपर्ट टीम्स के मेंबर बने थे, उनको सभी को वापस टीम में भेज दो. Now everybody is trained in one of the portions. एक्सपर्ट टीम्स वापस गई, वो मेंबर्स अपनी टीम में वो जाके हर मेंबर अपने बाकी के लोगों को, बाकी के टीम मेंबर्स को वो पोर्शन टीच करवाएगा. So all of them can reassemble in their home learning teams, where they teach the other group members. You just see this thing. यहाँ पे ये आपने टीम्स बनाई, राइट? 5 टीम्स बन गई. अब 5 टीम्स का एक मेंबर लेके आपने ये एक्सपर्ट टीम बना दी. नीचे ये एक्सपर्ट टीम है. ये एक्सपर्ट टीम को आपने one of the portion you have given to them, राइट? ऐसे ही दूसरी टीम बन गई, तीसरी बन गई, चौथी, ये सब एक्सपर्ट टीम्स बन गई. ईच एक्सपर्ट टीम हैज 1 मेंबर फ्रॉम ईच ऑफ द होम टीम्स. अब इनको वो 5 पोर्शंस तैयार करने के लिए. नाउ टीचर का रोल है मेंटर करने का. ही हैज टू सी कि किसी टीम को मान लो मटेरियल नहीं मिल रहा है, तो ही हैज टू हेल्प इन दैट. किसी को ये नहीं, कंसेप्ट इज वेरी टफ, and the students are not able to think of visualize certain real life examples to make other persons learn about it. तो वो सारा कुछ टीचर वहां पे जाके हेल्प करे. Then these persons go back to their teams and teach. Every member teaches that portion. तो सारे के सारे स्टूडेंट्स जो हैं, अब this type of where you want to say that you want that there are certain concepts which you feel that everybody should know. Say any one of you goes to the industry और कहते हैं ना कि एक सब्जेक्ट का बेसिक तो सबको टिप्स पे होना चाहिए. आजकल क्या होता है, इंडस्ट्रीज क्रिटिसाइजिंग द स्टूडेंट्स कि आपका जो प्रोडक्ट है वो सही नहीं आ रहा, उसको बेसिक्स भी नहीं आते हैं. आई रिमेम्बर केस in one of the interviews in our institution, even the person with the electronics engineer, he was not having the basics of that subject. तो ऐसे अगर हो जाता है तो नेचुरली इंडस्ट्री विल क्रिटिसाइज आवर स्टूडेंट. तो यहाँ पे है कि अगर कम से कम जो बेसिक्स हैं वो हर स्टूडेंट को लर्न हो जाए, you can adopt that. Of course, students will vary in their way of analyzing the things. That is the highest stage. But the basics should be clear to everyone. So this type is another collaborative way of learning the things. There are others also. I am not going into all those methods. There is numbered heads together. There you make the numbers, give numbers to the situation students, and then you solve the problems. Is this clear? Point is, for collaborative learning, you can follow a very number of other methods also in the classroom. Say I have experimented with this. Say you have taught, and this you can incorporate even in your lecture method. You make two groups, and after your lecture, you tell them that okay, all of them will make questions and think of the answers to those questions. एक ग्रुप ने क्वेश्चंस बनाए, 3-4 क्वेश्चंस बना लिए उनके, then they thought of the answers from the lecture which you have just taught. Then there is another group, the second group को भी आपने यही जॉब दे दिया कि आपने 4 क्वेश्चंस बना लिए and think of the answers. वो सभी ग्रुप मेंबर्स को पता होने चाहिए. And then these groups will ask questions from the teacher. So naturally there will be a type of competition, there will be collaboration also, because they have to make others also learn those things, and in that way the basics of that particular lecture are learned by everyone. And you may do this activity once or twice in a week and tell them that we are going to do it, so be ready for that. So everybody wants that, okay, the my group goes higher, right? A type of small competition that helps them to learn themselves also. Advantages of this type of learning are that they help in students socialization. कितना पहले तो क्लास में बैठ के आपको सुन रहे थे. Now they have come to different teams. They have gone to the expert teams. So wider group interaction is there. So socialization is developed. This requires them to divide up tasks, provide feedback, debate different conclusions. सारे वो ग्रुप वाले जो सारे इकट्ठे बैठते हैं, then they again discuss, right? So this help how to divide the task, because once you give the task they will further divide it. Okay, you learn this thing, you learn this thing. Encourages problem solving skills, understanding complex relationships, decision making in an open-ended situations like that. Allows for peer coaching, एक दूसरे को पढ़ाते हैं. Allows active involvement of students in learning information. Otherwise क्या है, आपका student passive learner है. So these are the things which you can incorporate in addition to your lectures, so that these help help your students to develop these skills, soft skills like creativity, communication skills, the skills which you have listed, and you have hired trainers for that. That development of those skills can become part of your classroom lectures, and I would say there will be better results in your आप तो कहते हैं ना कि failures ज़्यादा हैं, वो failure rates भी आपके कम हो जाएंगे. So it will have number of benefits just with little efforts and initiative at your part. So okay, I welcome questions from your side.